Okay, this is fun foreplay. This is so erotic to keep a woman on the edge of orgasm. This is actually unheard of. It's not that it's a secret, it's just that men tend to give women what they like, which is direct contact and a lot of climaxes. Whereas women, they don't have the hormones flowing that men do, so they would like more foreplay and they would like to feel horny a lot. Now, I'm not talking in the beginning of a relationship when you have the hormones going, but 10, 15, 20 years later, generally the woman is doing the dishes and the man comes up behind her and starts rubbing her nipples and she's like, get away from me. That's because she's thinking of the bills and that she has to go grocery shopping yet tonight, give the kids a bath, make sure they have their clothes ready, make sure they have the signed permission slip. They have all these things on their mind. Now, when they were younger and you were courting her man, you were looking in her eyes, you were saying, I love you, you were buying her presents, roses and chocolate, taking her out to eat, you were romancing her. You said, I love you, you said you're beautiful, and all those things she responded to, so there was a closeness. So then when you kissed and rubbed her nipples, she got turned on right away. But nobody's saying how it can change later on in life. So I'm saying if a man learns this technique, this is not the X-spot, this is something before the X-spot. This is the edge of orgasm. If he can learn this technique, he will give a woman something that probably no other man ever has, because they never took the time, because they were not aware of the pleasure times 100 that it'll give a woman. So first for foreplay. Okay, let's talk about foreplay a little bit. Kissing and going right to the nipples may not work because they're not TV knobs. You can't just turn them on. So instead of doing that, if men would just go around and around and around and stroke her very lightly. I mean, obviously the skin is the biggest organ. Well, it's also the most sensuous. If it's touched very lightly, it could turn her on, even if you touch her behind her knees and her elbows and up and down her arm and up and down her thigh. So if you rub around and don't go directly for the nipples, you just go around and around, you're turning her on and she will arch her back. She won't even be aware of it. She won't even know it. She's not doing it on purpose. It will just happen subconsciously. So once she arches her back, that's your cue that you can now touch her nipples. Then when you go down lower and lower, again, up and down the thigh, around the hip bone, up and down the thigh, when you get closer and closer, don't touch her clitoris right away. Hold off on that. Wait, tease her, go near it, close, near it, close, pull away, close, pull away. Then when she's turned on, her hips will automatically move back and forth. Again, she doesn't know she's doing it, it's not consciously, but that's when you know you could touch her clitoris. And I'm saying instead of, at this point, going right to the clitoris and rubbing it, making her come, she will come instantly because she's turned on. You've touched her skin, you've kissed her, you've touched her nipples, she is turned on. No, keep her on the edge of orgasm. Don't let her have that climax yet. So I'm saying go around. You might have to go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. You might have to make it a pause around her clitoris. And it's a root. It has, over 600 nerves just right there. So just around and around till she's really turned on. How will you know that? She'll be panting. She'll be panting lightly. And you could even ask her on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you? But you don't really want to interrupt the mood. You could probably tell by her breathing. So you just automatically go in this one pattern without stopping. Then after doing this for 20 minutes, now you might have to get an alarm clock. The reason 20 minutes is relative. You know, you might think you've been doing it for 20 minutes and you're turned on and you're ready to come, but really it was only 5 minutes. So after 20 minutes of this, when you make her come, either with your finger or by intercourse, she's instantly going to have the climax. Now, by having a climax, a woman automatically releases lubrication. So when you're ready to start the X-spot rub, she'll be naturally lubricated, although I still suggest, it's really important, go ahead and use lubrication like KY jelly or something from Lover's Lane or Adult Bookstore. They even sell it at Walgreens now. It's water soluble, won't stain the sheets, and it will not cause an infection like petroleum jelly, baby oil. If you put those on, it could cause the woman an infection. It's not water soluble. If you actually grab her clitoris like that, that will turn her on. If you actually squeeze her clit and make her come. So this is the edge of orgasm. In this society, if a woman wants sex, she can usually get it. She could get dressed up, go out, find a guy. She can, obviously, hopefully be married, give her husband a massage, wear something sexy, do a dance for him. She'll get sex. So that's sort of easy for a woman to get sex. What's harder is for her to be horny and turned on for a long length of time. That's what makes this special, and that's what makes this great foreplay.